Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something most people can't handle. Nobody cares how hard your life is. Nobody cares about your excuses, and nobody is coming to save you. The world doesn't stop because you're tired, and it doesn't wait because you're not ready. While you're complaining, someone else is out there working, grinding, building, winning. So stop looking for sympathy and start building strength. Because the truth is brutal but freeing. Nobody cares. Work harder. When you reach the point where your mind tells you that you've done enough, that you've pushed as far as you can go, that's the precise moment when you must go further. Because that's where growth begins, at the edge of exhaustion, where most people stop. Those who achieve greatness are not superhuman. They simply refuse to quit when everyone else does. They've trained themselves to thrive in discomfort, to find calm in chaos, and to see possibility in struggle. They understand that pain is not punishment, it's progress disguised as difficulty. Every rep, every hour, every drop of sweat, it's all a deposit toward the future they're building. And they know that nothing meaningful comes without paying that price. You can't fake discipline. You can't pretend to have perseverance. The truth shows up in your habits. It shows up in what you do when nobody is watching, when no one is clapping, when the effort seems invisible. The grind has a way of revealing who's serious and who's pretending, because eventually the talk fades away and only the results remain. You must train yourself to fall in love with the process, to find satisfaction not in applause, but in effort. Every single day you get up and give your best, you're laying another brick in the foundation of your legacy. It may not be visible yet, but one day those bricks will form a fortress of strength that nothing can break. There will be times when you feel isolated, when it seems like no one understands the weight you're carrying. But solitude is not your enemy, it's your greatest opportunity. It's in those quiet hours, when the world sleeps and you're still working, that you separate yourself from the average. Because while others dream of success, you are awake building it. You're developing habits that will outlast motivation, resilience that will outlast failure, and vision that will outlast doubt. You are creating a version of yourself that doesn't crumble under pressure, but becomes sharper because of it. The world celebrates the outcome, but rarely acknowledges the sacrifice behind it. They see the victory, not the battles that were fought to earn it. They see the success, not the sleepless nights, the rejections, the setbacks, or the endless repetitions that built the skill. But you must not seek understanding from those who haven't walked your path. Keep your focus inward, because the validation you're looking for will only come once you prove, through relentless effort, that you were serious all along. When you keep showing up, even when no one notices, you are building credibility with yourself, and that's the most important trust you'll ever earn. People often say they want success, but few are willing to endure what it demands. They want the glory without the grind, the results without the routine, the applause without the sacrifice. But the truth is, success does not negotiate. It has a price, and it demands full payment up front. You can't cheat it, you can't shortcut it, and you can't talk your way into it. You must earn it through repetition, through patience, through pain. Every hour you put in when you'd rather rest, every time you push through when others stop, you are separating yourself from the crowd. You are creating distance between who you are and who you used to be, and that distance is called growth. There will be moments when your efforts feel invisible, when you wonder if all the struggle is worth it. That's when you must remind yourself the roots grow before the tree is seen. You are developing strength underground where no one can see it yet. You are preparing for the moment when everything you've worked for begins to bloom. So stay patient, stay consistent. Greatness never grows overnight. It's the result of thousands of unseen moments where you refuse to quit. Most people spend their lives waiting for motivation, for opportunity, for the right circumstances. But the ones who change their lives are the ones who act. They understand that progress is not about waiting. It's about moving forward, even when you don't feel ready, because you will never feel fully ready. You will always have doubts, always have fears, always face obstacles. But action breeds clarity. Each step you take strengthens your confidence and silences your excuses. The more you move, the less fear controls you. The more you act, the more power you gain when life hits hard, and it will remember that it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. Every challenge is shaping you, every hardship is teaching you, every failure is refining you. You can either let it break you or let it build you. The choice is yours. The strongest people are not the ones who had it easy. They are the ones who turned pain into power. They stopped complaining, stopped waiting, and started working. They realized that nobody was coming to hand them success. They understood that the only way forward was through effort, through discipline, through relentless action. The reason most people never rise to their potential is because they seek comfort more than growth. They want to improve without changing, to win without struggling, but growth requires discomfort. You must be willing to outgrow your excuses, outgrow your fears, outgrow your old self. Every new level of life demands a new version of you. That means letting go of who you were, the habits, the mindset, the laziness, the self. Doubt all of it must go if you want to rise. Because success doesn't come to the person who wants it most. It comes to the person who's willing to do what it takes. When you tell yourself nobody cares, don't say it with bitterness, say it with freedom. Because it means you're no longer waiting for anyone to understand you. You're no longer looking for approval. You're no longer needing validation to move forward. You've taken full responsibility for your journey, and that's the moment everything changes, the moment you stop expecting and start executing, the moment you stop hoping and start building. That's the moment you become unstoppable, because once you realize that the only person who needs to believe in your dream is you, you start moving differently, you stop hesitating, you stop doubting. You start acting with certainty, even when the outcome is uncertain. The truth is, life will test your patience, your strength, and your commitment. It will ask you again and again, how bad do you want it? And every time you choose to work instead of complain, to act instead of procrastinate, you're answering that question. You're proving to life that you're serious, and life rewards seriousness with progress. It rewards discipline with opportunity. It rewards persistence with breakthrough. But the moment you give in to excuses, you hand over your power. Excuses might make you feel better today, but they will cost you your dreams tomorrow. You must become the kind of person who shows up regardless of circumstances. Whether it's raining or shining, whether you're motivated or not, whether you're tired or full of energy, you show up. You keep your promises to yourself. Because that's how greatness is built, not through occasional bursts of effort, but through daily consistency. The person who works every day, even imperfectly, will always surpass the person who only works when it feels convenient. Understand that the world doesn't care about your intentions, it only responds to your actions. People won't remember what you said you were going to do, they'll remember what you actually did. So stop talking about what you're going to achieve and start proving it. Let your effort become your message. Let your consistency become your proof. Let your success become your answer to every doubt and every critic. Because when you've built something through hard work, no one can take it from you. When you embrace the mindset that nobody cares, you stop playing the victim. You stop waiting for life to be fair. You start realizing that fairness is not the goal, growth is. You don't need life to be easy, you need to be strong. You don't need opportunities handed to you, you need to become the kind of person who creates them, and once you make that shift, everything changes. You stop wasting energy blaming others, and you start using that energy to improve yourself. You stop focusing on what's missing, and you start working with what you have. You are capable of far more than you think, but potential means nothing without effort. The dreams in your mind are worthless until you back them with discipline. The goals you've written down mean nothing until you act on them. Every single day is a new chance to prove that you are stronger than your excuses, braver than your fears, and more determined than your past. You are in control of your story, no one else. So when the world seems indifferent, when nobody claps, when nobody notices good, that's your moment to shine in silence, to grow in obscurity, to prepare in private. Because one day, the same people who overlooked you will ask how you did it, and you'll know the answer: you worked harder when nobody cared. There will come a day when you look back and realize that every moment of struggle, every sleepless night, every silent battle was necessary. You'll understand that the pain wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Life wasn't trying to break you, it was trying to build you. Every hardship was shaping your character, forging your discipline, and teaching you the value of perseverance. You'll see that while others quit when things got hard, you kept moving. While others looked for shortcuts, you stayed the course. And while others sought comfort, you sought growth. That's the difference between those who wish for success and those who earn it. Success is never accidental. It's intentional, deliberate, and consistent effort applied day after day, even when no one cares and no one's watching. When you start understanding that effort compounds, you begin to respect the grind. Every extra minute you put in, every distraction you resist, every time you choose focus over comfort, it all adds up. You may not see it today, but the results are stacking quietly beneath the surface. The universe always rewards the one who keeps showing up, maybe not immediately, but inevitably, because consistent effort is the most powerful force in existence. It doesn't need applause, it doesn't need motivation. It just needs time. The person who stays disciplined long enough will always surpass the one who was only motivated for a moment. You must learn to find pride not in the outcome, but in the process. The process is where you become who you're meant to be. The process is where you sharpen your skills, control your emotions, and strengthen your mind. It's not about waiting for the reward. It's about becoming the kind of person who deserves it. That's why so many people fail. They want the result, but they're unwilling to endure what it takes to get there. They want success without sacrifice, growth without pain, recognition without effort. But life doesn't work that way. You can't bypass struggle and expect to find meaning. You can't skip the climb and still enjoy the view. The beauty of achievement lies in the journey that led you there, the discipline, the persistence, the silent resilience that no one saw. You must accept that not everyone will understand your vision. Most people won't see the point of your dedication. They'll tell you to slow down, to relax, to live a little, but they don't understand this is living. Building something from nothing, pushing beyond your limits, proving to yourself that you can. This is what it means to be alive. Don't let the opinions of the complacent distract you from the mission of the committed. Because when they laugh at your discipline today, they'll admire your success tomorrow. What they call obsession now, they'll call mastery later. So don't waste energy explaining yourself. Let your results do the talking. Silence is a powerful language, and only those who have earned their victories know how to speak it. Your mind is your greatest weapon, but only if you train it. Left uncontrolled, it becomes your greatest enemy. It will tell you you're too tired, too late, too far behind, not good enough. It will try to protect you from discomfort, and that's exactly why you must ignore it. Growth requires you to override the voice of weakness that whispers rest. You must teach your mind to obey your purpose, not your feelings. Feelings are fleeting. Purpose is permanent. The stronger your purpose becomes, the quieter your excuses will get. And that's how you transform, not by wishing for motivation, but by mastering self-control. You can't wait for the perfect conditions to start. You'll never have the ideal time, the right environment, or complete clarity. The perfect time is the moment you decide to act. Action brings clarity. Every step forward reveals the next one. Most people stand still because they're waiting to see the whole staircase before taking the first step. But progress doesn't work that way. You climb in faith, one step at a time, trusting that the effort will guide you where you're meant to go. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to keep moving despite it. Understand that discipline is a form of love for your future, love for your potential, love for the life you know you can create. When you choose to work when others rest, you're telling yourself, I believe in me. Every small act of discipline is a vote for the person you want to become. The world may not notice it, but you will. You'll feel yourself getting stronger, more confident, more capable. And soon, that strength will reflect in everything you do, your work, your mindset, your relationships, your goals. The person who is disciplined in one area becomes disciplined in all areas. That's how greatness spreads. It begins with one decision, one act of effort, one refusal to quit. You must stop underestimating the power of small progress. You don't need massive leaps every day, you need steady steps. Progress is rarely dramatic, it's quiet, gradual, invisible until it isn't. One day, after hundreds of days of unseen work, people will call you lucky. They'll say you came out of nowhere. They'll have no idea how many nights you spent working while they slept. But you'll remember the hours of solitude, the sacrifices, the internal battles. You'll smile because you'll finally see what that silence was building, so don't rush the process. The time will pass anyway, make sure it passes with purpose. You will have moments where you question everything, when fatigue feels unbearable, when progress feels invisible, when your motivation disappears. But that's where most people stop, and that's where you must begin again. You must remind yourself that success doesn't happen in bursts. It's a slow, deliberate grind. The difference between the person who succeeds and the one who doesn't is simple. One kept showing up. The world rewards persistence. Every time you push through resistance, you become more powerful. You're not just chasing a goal, you're becoming someone who can achieve any goal. Never forget that life doesn't owe you anything. The sooner you accept that, the stronger you become. You are not entitled to success, happiness, or recognition. You must earn them. You earn them through patience, through effort, through sacrifice. You earn them by doing what others refuse to do. When everyone else is comfortable, you're working. When everyone else is distracted, you're focused. When everyone else is talking, you're acting. That's what it takes to separate yourself from the average. It's not glamorous, but it's necessary. Because if you want to live differently, you must be willing to work differently. When you feel like quitting, remind yourself why you started. Think about the version of yourself you're fighting for. Think about the life you want to build, the person you want to become, the impact you want to make. Quitting won't get you there, effort will. Pain is temporary, but regret lasts forever. You can live with struggle, you can't live with what if. Every day you show up, even in small ways, you're proving that your dream matters to you. The effort might be invisible today, but it's building a foundation that will carry you far beyond what you can see now. You have to learn to respect the grind, even when it feels pointless. Every repetition matters. Every disciplined choice counts. Every sacrifice adds weight to your success. The reason most people never see results is because they stop just before the breakthrough. They plant the seed, but they don't water it long enough to see it grow. But if you keep working, if you keep showing up, if you keep pushing, the results will come. Maybe not when you want them to, but when you've earned them. That's how life works. It doesn't give you what you wish for. It gives you what you deserve. You can't let temporary emotions dictate permanent decisions. Don't give up just because it feels hard. It's supposed to be hard. The struggle is what separates the strong from the weak. It's the filter life uses to find out who really wants it. If you can endure what others can't, you'll achieve what others won't. So when it hurts, lean in. When you're tired, push once more. When you doubt yourself, remember why you began. Because the truth is, nobody cares about your excuses. The world only respects results. And results belong to the ones who work harder when no one's watching, who keep going when no one claps, who believe when no one else does. That's the essence of progress: silent, steady, unseen persistence. The day will come when you no longer need to remind yourself to work harder, because it will be who you are. Effort will be your identity, discipline your nature, and success the natural consequence of your consistency. Until then, embrace the grind, embrace the silence, embrace the truth that nobody cares, and that's exactly why you must keep going. Because in the end, those who refuse to stop, who choose to fight when it's hardest, who give everything even when no one's watching, they're the ones who win. You'll realize that everything you've been chasing doesn't just come from talent or opportunity, it comes from a decision. A decision to do what's necessary, no matter how you feel. A decision to show up when it's uncomfortable. A decision to believe when logic says give up. Every single person who ever accomplished something extraordinary made that decision long before the results appeared. They didn't wait for motivation, they created it through movement. They didn't wait for someone to believe in them, they believed in themselves when no one else did. And that belief, sustained by effort, turned into evidence. Because belief alone means nothing without action, but action, repeated with purpose, turns belief into truth. When you decide to work harder, you separate yourself from the masses. Because most people aren't willing to give more than what's required. They do just enough to survive, not enough to thrive. They coast through life hoping circumstances will change, but the truth is, nothing changes until you do. You can't control the world around you, but you can control the world within you, your thoughts, your habits, your attitude, your effort. And those things, though invisible at first, are what shape your destiny. The greatest transformations happen not when life becomes easier, but when you become stronger. Every obstacle that stands in your way is not there to stop you, it's there to strengthen you. The challenges you face are not walls meant to block you, they are tests meant to prove how badly you want what you say you want. Most people give up when the road gets hard, but those who endure discover that the struggle itself was the preparation. The pain that once felt unbearable becomes the reason you can carry more. The rejections that once discouraged you become the lessons that refine you, and the moments when you felt invisible become the foundation of the strength that makes you unstoppable. The truth is, nobody sees the hours you put in when no one's watching. Nobody sees the sacrifices, the discipline, the battles fought in silence. But that's how it's supposed to be. Because greatness is not built in the spotlight, it's built in the shadows. It's built in the quiet repetition of daily effort, in the choices you make when there's no reward, no recognition, no applause. That's where champions are made, in the unseen moments when you could have quit but didn't. When you could have taken the easy route but chose the hard one. Those are the moments that define you. You have to understand that success is not owned, it's rented, and the rent is due every single day. Every morning you wake up, you start from zero. Yesterday's effort doesn't carry over. Yesterday's success doesn't entitle you to anything. You must earn it again and again through action. That's what separates the consistent from the occasional, the disciplined from the distracted, the focused from the frustrated. You can't rely on what you did before. You have to keep building, keep growing, keep evolving. Because the moment you stop working, you start losing ground. The moment you think you've done enough, someone else is still grinding, still pushing, still hungry. That's why hunger is everything. It's not about where you are, it's about how badly you want to move forward. Hunger is what gets you up when the alarm goes off. It's what keeps you moving when your legs are heavy and your mind is tired. It's what separates the dreamers from the doers. When you stay hungry, no setback can stop you, because you understand that every challenge is just another opportunity to prove your strength. When you're hungry, failure doesn't discourage you, it fuels you. Because you know that pain is temporary, but quitting lasts forever, you can't let fear dictate your pace. Fear will tell you to slow down, to play it safe, to wait for a better time, but there is no better time. The best time to act is now, with what you have where you are. Waiting for perfect conditions is just another form of procrastination. The people who succeed are not the ones who have no fear, they are the ones who act in spite of it. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's the ability to move through it. Every time you act despite doubt, you weaken fear's grip on your mind, and one day you'll look back and realize that what once terrified you now empowers you. Most people underestimate the power of consistency. They think they need intensity, huge bursts of energy, dramatic effort, overnight change, but intensity fades, consistency lasts. It's not what you do once that matters. It's what you do every day. The habits you repeat become the results you live. So build habits that reflect who you want to be, not who you are right now. Every small act of discipline compounds. Every day you stay consistent, you're rewriting your future. It might not look like much today, but small steps over time build unshakable momentum. And when that momentum takes hold, everything changes. You'll notice opportunities start appearing where before there were only obstacles. You'll notice doors opening that once seemed locked. It's not luck, it's the law of effort. The world begins to respond differently when you do. Life rewards energy, focus, and determination. It may not happen overnight, but it always happens eventually. That's why you must never stop giving your best, because you never know when your breakthrough will come. It could be the next call, the next workout, the next attempt. But if you stop, you'll never know. The truth about working harder is that it's not just about achieving things, it's about who you become in the process. You become disciplined, you become patient, you become mentally tough, you become someone who doesn't crumble under pressure but rises above it. The real reward of hard work is not what you get, it's who you become, because when you transform yourself from the inside out, no one can take that from you. You'll walk differently, think differently, carry yourself differently. You'll stop comparing yourself to others because you'll be too focused on improving who you were yesterday. And as you continue to evolve, you'll notice that your circle changes too. The people who used to distract you will fall away. The conversations that used to excite you will no longer interest you. Because when you raise your standards, life matches your energy. You'll attract people who are driven, focused, and purpose-driven like you. You'll realize that energy recognizes energy and that success leaves clues. When you surround yourself with people who expect more from themselves, you naturally expect more from yourself too. That's how growth accelerates through alignment, not comfort. You have to be willing to endure boredom, repetition, and routine, because that's where mastery is born. Most people quit not because it's impossible, but because it's monotonous. They get bored doing the same thing every day. But those who understand the process know that repetition is the path to excellence. The greatest athletes, artists, and leaders became who they are because they mastered the fundamentals. They didn't chase shortcuts. They refined the basics until they were flawless. So, when you find yourself repeating the same actions day after day, understand that you're not stuck, you're getting better. You're sharpening your edge. You're building strength quietly, consistently, patiently. You must learn to find fulfillment in effort itself, because there's a peace that comes from knowing you gave your all regardless of the outcome. Results may fluctuate, circumstances may change, but effort is always in your control. And when you give your full effort, you can rest knowing that you did everything in your power. That's a kind of confidence no one can give you. You earn it through discipline. The person who works hard in silence builds a confidence that doesn't need to be announced. It's felt, it's seen, it's undeniable, so keep going, keep pushing, even when you don't see progress, because one day, all those invisible efforts will become visible. All those late nights and early mornings will add up to something extraordinary. The same people who didn't care when you started will be the ones asking for your secret, and you'll know the truth. There was no secret. It was just work. Relentless, disciplined, daily work. You'll realize that nobody cares was never a curse, it was your greatest advantage. Because when nobody cared, you had nothing to prove to anyone but yourself. And that's when you discovered your true power, the power to build, to overcome, to rise, to work harder no matter what stood in your way.